broker you got trucks, you got assets under your brokerage?
Not yet.
Okay,
Not
so
yet.
the question becomes is what is he going to what is he going to be doing if he's like he's dispatching? What is he dispatching if you don't have any? Unless you're trying to get now, is he going to be a broker agent under you or a dispatcher?
Dispatcher.
Okay, and he's dispatching what
Like
exactly?
he's calling carriers and then, trying to get them set up on the loads. But I don't really know what he's got going on. Like last night, he spent a long time on the phone with somebody trying to broker the load or dispatch the load out, just to do it on his own. And he said that he ended up getting the load and the carrier and everything all together, but he didn't realize that it was an old load, and it had already been moved a week ago. And I just don't understand.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that. That sounds like double brokering. Um, so he's working under your dispatching. I mean, under your brokerage, but he's getting carriers. And then what loads is he booking? So where's he getting the loads from? The load board,
Yeah.
and he's getting them from other brokers.
That's what I tried to tell him. Like, we need to start reaching out to the companies.
Yeah, the
You know,
customers. You got to reach out to
right?
the customers to get your own. You have to. Yeah, you can't have a dispatcher under you brokering loads from other brokerages. He can't do that. That's double brokering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I wouldn't even honestly deal with that. But yeah, does he even understand that? Now he could be a freight agent under you and go after the customers. Either locally. Does he live near you?
He lives in Knoxville, Tennessee, so it's like maybe 3 hours away. But I'm gonna go up there on Friday and spend like the whole day up there trying to work it out, because I don't think he totally understands. He took a dispatcher class, but that's why I told him just go ahead and try to dispatch, just doing his own thing, just so he could get a feel for it.
Which
But
dispatching class did he take? Did he take? He certainly didn't take mine because I wouldn't
no, no,
recommend that.
I've sent him your information, um, but I don't know if he contacted you or not. His name is Tony Morrison, Morrissey, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't sound like yeah, because he can't work under a brokerage because you have an active broker authority. So
Mm-hmm.
he can't work under a brokerage, then get carriers under your brokerage, and then call other brokers to book loads for the carriers. That's a big no
Right.
no. That's a big no no. So
Right.
he can't do that. He has to if he's going to work under your and he can't even have the title as dispatcher unless you start to getting your own like assets or your own contracted carrier under
Mm-hmm.
under your brokerage, and then he can dispatch internally for the under the brokerage, just moving only your loads,
Right.
your customers' loads. He can dispatch your customers' loads under your brokerage. Now that he can be a dispatcher for, but outside of that, he can't be under the umbrella. Now you have to be careful because he can run the risk of messing your authority up.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Which is why I told him, I told him that exact thing. I was like, I don't want to pay for any of your mistakes, so just go do your own thing. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe we could come back together, a different way. But he came close to making a mistake at the end of last week, and that's why I was just like,
has
trying to pause on that.
has has he have you guys signed any paperwork as far as him working for you or you having any contracts with him or anything like that?
Mm-mm. No, I haven't sent anything to him yet.
Yeah, he
I mean,
can't.
we
Yeah,
just met within a 7-day period, so we haven't done anything like that yet together.
cool. Yeah, so I wouldn't. Yeah, my advice to you is I wouldn't. I mean, unless he's willing to be a freight agent under your brokerage, and then whatever commission split you guys agree to, 60-40, 70-30, depending on how much volume of customers he bring to you, will be, then he can work as an agent under your brokerage, calling the customers, the shippers, and then trying to move freight in that area. So, yeah, he's that's a slippery slope. Definitely.
So I guess because okay, so this is going to obviously change the direction that I was personally going in a little bit, but I guess my only question is how do I get it to start moving? I just got my insurance today. So I could put the packages together, but how do I start getting movement to make some money, because I'm spending a ton of money, but I'm not making anything.
Right. So you have to start, you got to pound that pavement, call shippers, visit shippers in your area locally, do research on the shippers. Where are you located?
In Atlanta.
Oh yeah, you are. Oh my God, you're in a major metropolitan area. I'm surprised you can't. Yeah, you can visit all types of shippers in that area, and you're in a centralized hub area. Like Atlanta, right. You can go down to Florida, you can go over to Texas, you can go up to Carolinas, over to Tennessee. So you're in a hub, a centralized location. You just need to start visiting. I don't know about you, whether you want to find a particular niche or not. You don't even have to. You can go after freight, like my friend James said, just get any type of freight as long as it moves, and then you can just decide what equipment type it goes in. Yeah, you just need to start. Have you started researching shippers and calling shippers and deciding how you're going to present your brokerage to them? And
I called a few, and then I kind of just stopped because I didn't have the insurance to put in the packet yet. But like I said, I just got that today. But I'm open to traveling and everything. I'm doing whatever it takes to get this moving. There's nothing I won't do for it, because I don't want to go back to work ever again. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And then I can leverage this platform as well, because some persons just ask me, if you're willing to bring on agents under your brokerage, I can list your company as one of our partners that's willing to bring on agents to work under the brokerage to start doing cold calls and getting shippers in. Would you?
Yeah, I'm so willing to do that. That would be amazing.
Okay, so let me write something down. I can add it. I can actually add it. I think I'm sharing my screen, right? I can add it to the website under affiliates and partners. Let's see, you would need a login for that, or I gotta redo that part. But so we got some brokers in here, but so James is here, Kimberly's here, Agility. I would add your brokerage as a number 5 to be willing to. Let me add it here. So how long has your brokerage been at?
It's been active since August.
So 7 months. Okay, so what's the name of the broker? And where's Muhammad? Muhammad's your partner, right?
Yeah, Muhammad, I don't know where he is today. He's been really hard to get in touch with today, but actually me and him, we share children. We have children together. We used to be married. But this is something that he wants to break into. So he's just really interested, but he, doesn't have any of his paperwork filed or anything like that yet. But my company's name is YMMD LLC, Y Mary Dog LLC.
So YMMD LLC. There's no freight brokerage or anything like that in it. It's just YMMD LLC. And
because the lady that I took the first freight broker class with, she was saying it's harder. I don't know how much I believe anything that she says anymore, but she was saying that it's harder to get loans from the bank and stuff when you have things like transportation or trucking or logistics in the name. So that's why I chose YMD.
What was this person's name?
Her name is Hope White, and her business name is called HD White Logistics.
Okay, so that would let's think about that for a second. I got a little bit of time. My wife waved me over. So let's think about that for a second. if you got a transportation industry or a logistics company or a brokerage or anything like that, and you go to a bank for a loan, the bank's going to look at that and say, okay, you're in an industry that is recession and pandemic proof. It's always moving. You're always making money. So what's the chances of us giving you a loan? You're always bringing in income. You show it in your accounts and all that stuff. So you see what I'm saying? So I'm just thinking about like, well, they're willing to give you money because you're credit worthy. Your credit's good. You have funds coming into your account. Things like that. So I find that very hard to believe as far as the whole concept of the banks not willing to give you a loan because of the name. So I'm going to put WMMD LLC and then put freight brokerage, and then whatever other contact information. I guess I could put your name in if you want.
And my business email is amy@YMMD LLC. So what I did was the YMMD is like the initials for my kids' names. But so that I'm not giving out their name all the time, I put it as your mileage makes a difference as like the slogan. So at least you could see somewhere that it has to do with driving.
Okay, I put WMMD. It's YMMD. So Amy at YMMDLLC.com.
LLCS.com.
Oh, Amy at YMMDLLCS.com. And then what's the good contact number?
678-886-9520.
So I can, and so if people email, I can have them email you. And if they email you, people who enrolled in the freight broker is saying, okay, I just enrolled in the Freight Broker 101. Charles mentioned that YMMD LLC freight brokerage will be willing to consider bringing on agents under the brokerage to work as agents. What would be I'm assuming the commission split would be either the standard is like 60-40. 50,
yeah, that's fine with me.
Yeah, 50-50, 60-40, 60 to the agent, 40 to the brokerage for every shipper that you got, customer that you bring in.
I see that James has his MC number listed as well. Do I need to list my MC number?
Yeah, so they can look you up. I can look you up by the name, but I can.
Well, I could give you the number right now.
Okay, MC is.
Give me 1 second to pull up the right page. It is 1138132.
So repeat that again.
1138132.
Okay, 1138 132. So I'm on my desktop saving this to the desktop real quick. So you can still see my screen, right?
Well, it just went black, but now I can see it again. Yes.
I don't get why it's not. Okay, there we go. So YMMD. Okay, so how many? Do you have a limit of agents you want to? Because these people can work remotely all over the country. I guess you can strategically set up locations. Like if you're in the Midwest and you want to be an agent for a broker, or if you're in the Southeast or the West, Texas, so you can target shippers in the areas that freight. You know, there's a high volume of inbound and outbound freight, right? Give them an opportunity to work from home, and they don't. You know, it's commission based. There is no salary. You know, so it's based off.
I'm open to as many. I mean, you know, like I don't know what a decent number, but at least I would say like at least 10, 15, 20 around there would be cool. Like,
okay, so I can put that out for 20 agents, and we would have to see where they are. Even if they're like all in the same area, they can at least target shippers. If you know, we got to train them. Got to train them to understand that concept. You know, you want to look for areas where freight is moving, high volume of freight moving in and out. Look on the load boards, see where all the loads are going to and coming out of, and then target shippers in those areas.
So I'm gonna this man that I met that I'm said I'm gonna go see on Tuesday, I'm gonna like highly encourage him to sign up for your class because I think that he would
for the
do well.
dispatching class or the brokerage side.
The dispatching class, I would assume.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
you, or do you think you should do the freight broker?
Yeah, I would say that he would probably need the dispatching because what he's doing is he's either trying to double broker or co-broker, which is a no-no, and you know that's kind of no. So
yeah, I don't want to create issues that don't need to be created. So I'm glad I actually asked you.
Because you don't want him to do anything, and not. But since he hasn't signed any, he may use your name and it may come back to you. But all you got to do is let people know, like let the people know, the governing bodies like FMCSA, DOT, when they come out and say we got a person said that they're an agent for YMMD LLC. No, they're not. I don't have no signed dispatcher, no contract with this person. So he's falsely accusing or falsely stating that he's affiliated with my company. He's not. So whatever you guys decide to do with him, that's your prerogative. You know, so because you legally did not sign any paperwork. So
no, legally I have not. Just as a quick question, I got a thing to sign up with like a virtual truck like auction because I really do want to get some assets under my belt. Have you ever used a truck auction to buy a truck or anything?
Yeah, well,
Or
the most popular one is called Ritchie Brothers. They're all over the country. Not virtual. You can actually go to them. I mean, they got so many locations. You can just physically go there, but take a mechanic with you. So you're trying to bring a trucking. So what? I don't recommend bringing I would get a separate MC authority outside of your military authority. Keep them separate.
Yeah, I plan on keeping them separate, and also because I am a driver too, so I wouldn't mind driving, for myself until I can start, paying other people to drive. But
right, so you can have three companies, right? You can have one big company, YMMD Logistics, right? LLC or whatever you call it, S corp. It could be LLC, but it could be taxed or structured as an S corp. So at the top it'll be YMMD Logistics, and then YMMD Logistics, and then under that you got two separate companies: a broker side and a transportation side, a trucking side. You can say YMMD Trucking, YMMD Brokerage under YMMD, because logistics cover everything: brokerage, trucking, dispatching. So logistics is a term that it's an umbrella that has everything under it, right? So you can say YMMD Logistics. You can talk to your CPA about this. He'll tell you you can set up as many DBAs as you want under that one. So YMMD Logistics, and then you got DBA, YMMD Trucking, DBA, YMMD Brokerage, freight brokerage. That way you got it structured correctly, and I'm sure you're a CPA. I'm sure you have a CPA, a tax person. If you don't, I got one on my website that I recommend. My guy, he's my CPA, Eric Atkins, right here.
So I'm looking at your website actually, and I see that I don't have a CPA, so I'm gonna get in contact with him.
Yeah, let him know that Charles from Exodus sent you. There's no referral for that. I'm just saying he'll know. He's like, oh yeah, because he came on to my dispatch training and spoke for an hour and a half about taxes and how to structure things for businesses and things like that. And he was killing it, answer every question. Everybody's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna call you. So yeah, he knows his stuff.
So okay, on your website, I went to the ELLC services and the affiliates and partners, but it asked me to log in.
Right. So give me 1 second. I got to take that away. It was only supposed to be on the dispatcher side for members only, but I need to open it back up for everyone. So I'm going to do that like literally right now while I got you. Yeah, so I would consider YMMD Logistics, and then under that, 2 branches, YMMD Trucking, YMMD Brokerage.
Gotcha.
And that's just a thought. And if you, whoever your CPA is, run that by them.
Right, because just to add the logistics to the name is just like submitting a form, correct? And
Correct.
changing the name of it.
Yeah, I think it's a 2583 or an 80. There's certain forms you got to make an amendment or make it a change when you want to update it. And he gave those names pretty specifically, but.
Okay, yeah, I can handle that. That's a good idea. And I do have a website too. If you want to put that on there, like I built a website as well.
Okay, so let me add that to the once I take this feature away for logging in, then because you see me on my screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doing the changes and stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just need to go into the page.
I was actually looking at your website trying to find where you have like the things to look at shippers and stuff. It was something that we went over last Friday, I believe.
We save this and then republish it. All right, and then what we gotta do now is just go here, refresh the page. So if you refresh your screen on your side, like if you hit your F5 key on your keyboard or you refresh the browser, it should allow you into the
let's see. Oh, I'm in it now. Thank you.
Okay, and then I can go ahead and add you while I'm in here editing too. Instead of
he just got fed.
So it's YMMD LLC, and I can just put freight brokerage.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna put your name as the owner.
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
SLAN.
SLAN.
Mm-hmm. OVITS.
Okay. And then the contact number 678
886 9520.
9520. And then the email was
Amy at ymmdllcs.com.
And then you just said something about a website.
Yeah, and the website is www.ymmcllc.
YMMC or YMD?
YMD, sorry. I'm going too fast.
LLC.
Yeah, LLC.com.
Okay, no S?
Nope.
All right, so this is what I'm gonna do here. So I'm gonna change the website into an actual link so it can be. A link. Say www.ymmdllc.com, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So now you are a partner, and then under that, I'm gonna put here. Let me get rid of this crap here.
Mm-hmm.
looking for, say, up to 20 freight agents to bring on board with 60/40.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
And
And you want to put the MC number still?
oh yeah, let me put that down. So what was it?
I can get it's 1138132.
Okay, 1138132. That there. Let's see. How does that look to you?
Looks awesome to me.
I need to let it stand out a little bit. That
Yeah.
and maybe that.
Your screen just went black, but that's okay.
Let me see. Let me save it. I'm sharing my screen, but we'll go back. You see it? Screen?
No, it's still black.
So we'll do this there. There. Okay. Still black?
Nope, just came back up. Just
Okay.
came back up.
Okay, so you see everything?
Yeah, it looks great.
YMMD, LLC, Freight Brokerage, MC.
1138132.
Mail,
Name, phone.
website. So if we look you up, what will we get, right? So someone, I guess you would have to create some kind of contract or form that will have the person fill out and come onto your brokerage like a contract.
Okay, I can do that. I can certainly do that.
And so let's bring up Safer website and see the MC. There you are. You see that?
Yep.
Back in August 21, your DOT, MC 150, your for hire brokerage, general freight. Okay. Everything else notwithstanding, most of the stuff will be here for carriers, but like for accidents and all that stuff. But you're a brokerage, so But uh, so yeah. So there you go. So now I just got to leverage. I guess make an announcement. Exodus Logistics Learning Centers Freight Broker 101 in conjunction with YMMD LLC Freight Brokerage. Announcing taking on up to 20 freight agents to work from home for YMMD. These agents, of course, have to be enrolled into Freight Broker 101 prior to being considered. And I guess start once they enroll and they get approved, I'll let you know. The ones who want to join can contact YMMD, let them know that I've enrolled in, and then you will verify with me that person, because I'll have a database or a spreadsheet showing the person, and then we'll say okay. And then what TMS system are you using?
Well, right now I've been looking at the Ascend, and I have that as well.
You got that.
But I like the Ascend one. Mm-hmm.
So that TMS has the does it have the rate mate feature in there?
Right now I'm using Express, but I need to upgrade it to the bigger package.
Oh yeah, and you was asking something about shippers in the back office here, but yeah, so the DAT TMS. So if we go to TMS systems for the broker side, because DAT Express is that's for brokers too, but it's like a miniature version, I would guess, if you will. But so
yeah.
So we got here. You see my screen still?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, so we got the Ascend. You clicked. So here, right here, DAT Broker TMS. So this is the one. Load Pilot. Truck Stop even has an ITS Dispatch. That's a TMS system for the brokers. Get the TMS. Trucker Tools. So, and then there's a PDF here with other TMS systems that you can consider. But
yeah, that's what I was looking for. How can you show me how to get into that again, please?
Okay, so when you enrolled, remember when you got the orientation, you got the PDF, all the where it says start here orientation. You typed in that in the email. I sent you the passcode.
Yeah, I have that too.
Okay, so once you got orientation, you got the passcodes for all the rest of these, right? So went down to TMS, and the passcode for TMS is whatever it is. You just type it in. It'll give you a guest password, and you'll type that in under TMS systems, and then you'll be able to get into it.
Okay, great. Right? That's what I need to know. Yes.
So the image is like that broker TMS. If you click it, it's going to open up another. Each image, I put a link on it to go straight to that. So now you can request a demo. You can sign up for it if you decide. So brokers right here under brokers, you can do the broker load board, broker TMS. Which is what we're looking at currently right here. The transportation management system built for brokers and 3PLs. You are a broker or 3PL. So it gives you a demo of it right here. You can watch it, an overview of it. I don't know how long it is.
Hey, it's Monica from DA.
5 minutes. So it'll walk you through the whole process of the features, right? And you can request a demo. So you're not a carrier side, so we're looking at everything from broker side. So we got analytics with rates, reports, and stuff. So you got TMS, you got carrier onboarding, carrier monitoring, load tracking, authority, everything for the broker side. They're probably going to give you in the demo. You would request. So as a broker, you want to ask yourself, well, what all the features do I need to effectively run a brokerage? Run through the life cycle of a load from a customer, from the time I get it from the customer to the time that the carrier, whether they are an approved carrier or an asset-based carrier, delivers that load. What's the life cycle of that process? And then once you determine that, then you say, okay, well, does my TMS provide all or most of the processes in that life cycle? That's what you need to, come up with. So,
gotcha.
So when you get the TMS, when you get the demo, you know, request a demo and then go from there.
Okay, I can do that.
Was that so? That's what you wanted to ask for? I thought you asked for something about shippers too.
Well, like I'm just, just trying to figure out how to get everybody connected so that I can like start just pulling in
And see,
in the income.
yeah, and see the fact. Were you a company driver? Or were you an owner op?
I was company.
Okay, so you
I
didn't.
leased before, but I was still leasing onto a company who gave me all the loads and everything.
So you saw the rate cons and all that stuff.
No.
Okay, because you could easily gotten the shipper's information off the rate confirmations, right?
I mean, I do have a lot of shipper information because I kept all of my bills.
Oh, well, there you go. And then some of those
Yeah.
shippers, I'm sure some of those people at those facilities remember who you are. You know, I'm sure you had conversations with some people when you pulled up to the.
Oh yeah, of course.
So you can go to them and say, hey, I used to drive, I used to do that. Yeah, I remember you. Yeah, I got a brokerage now. So I'm a logistics provider now. So now are you happy with your current logistics provider, or is there anything that you would need that I can provide for you? Because I'm into more customer service. So you approach it like that, especially since it's not a cold call or it's not a cold conversation. They kind of know you because you delivered there before. So now you can just kind of warm up into the conversation. I'm a logistics provider now. Another name for a broker is logistics provider, right? So, and then you can let them know, are you what are you looking for in a logistics provider, and can I provide that service? What are some of the challenges that you have in, the movement of some of your loads? And if you give me an opportunity, I can quote some of your lanes for you and see if we can work together. Things like that. Yeah, I'm assuming you're right. I'm assuming you're writing this stuff down.
Yeah, of course. Like I'm taking notes like crazy.
So, and then, but in here, I think I put some scripts in here too, but because I got some more advanced stuff. I talked to a broker friend of mine, and I'm going to have salesman. He's going to train me like in the old school ways of brokering, because he said what brokers are doing nowadays is so far from reality right now. He said, but I can train you twice a week. We can meet at a hotel conference room for 4 hours, and I'll give you the whole sales rundown. I said, you know what? That's great. I would love that, because I can pretty much pour that into the broker side here for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted him to come on and speak, because he'll have you guys. I was on the phone for him from 7 p.m. to like 1 a.m. That's how long we were talking. So it's so much information, right? But it's simple, but it's complex. You gotta, if you understand the sales process and what your customer wants, then you'll be able to provide that.
Right.
So under module 1, customers / shippers, and then dealing with customers and shippers under that module, you'll have let's see, customers. Let's see what the customers says here. And I'm not sure if you had a chance to go through the all the different areas here or not.
No, I haven't gone through everything. I looked at things, but I need to sit down and really like study it clearly.
Yeah, we can do that because I'm thinking Tuesdays are going to be trainings for like beginner brokers and basics, people who don't even have a broker started but want to start a brokerage, and then for people who have a brokerage up and running but don't have a shipper yet. And then Fridays are going to be for more the intermediate and advanced, like agility freight, and Mike.
Yeah, because on Friday I'll sit there and listen on like the Fridays that I can get to it, but I'm like, man, they already know what they got going on, like 100%.
But that's cool, but it's good to listen. It's good to hear that though, right? Because you'll pick up on something, and then you just throw a question in the chat, and then we'll be able to, because those guys, they're moving air and sea freight right now. They want to do over the road, and then James and we're getting ready to work together on a brokerage, and I'm actually going to use his TMS, which is Load Manager, to train under. In the trainings to how to navigate and build a load out, put a dummy, put some put some data in there, put some use case data into it, and then just manipulate the data and showing people how to, when a load tender comes in from a shipper, either EDI integration, electronic data integration, or manually into the system, what do you do then as a broker? How do you do the movement, or how do you change that tender, that load tender from the shipper into a rate confirmation for the carrier minus your margins, whatever your margins are, 20%, 15%, 12, whatever that number is, right? So, so it's, and it's so once you get the process, it's the same thing over and over again. You're just getting different tenders from the shippers, and you're setting different rate confirmations to the carriers. But the process, is what we need to make sure that everybody understands. So,
Right.
but do you have your different packets set up? Do you have a shipper broker packet, or do you have a broker carrier packet for your company?
Right now I have, I feel like I have the shipper broker packet put together. But like I said, I just got the insurance today, so that was one thing that I was waiting on. But
so what kind of insurance did you get? Did you get a liability, contingent cargo, errors and omissions? What kind did you get?
I got a contingent cargo.
Okay.
I got contingent cargo with reefer breakdown added.
Okay, so with that being said, I'm assuming, are you leaning toward reefer type of shippers?
Well, I have the most experience I have personally is with reefers, so I was definitely gonna try to work with reefers.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool, and that's your niche. Since you have already experience with it, it'll put you at an advantage. You can leverage that knowledge when you're going after reefer shippers. Let them know that you used to be a reefer carrier. You understand the whole life cycle of that process of reefers. You can provide carrier procurement for them. You can bring carriers over because you have experience moving reefers, and you can bring carriers over there, meet their capacity with your contracted carriers, and make sure that these carriers pick up from Mr. Shipper on time. Make sure they deliver on time, Mr. Shipper. Any discrepancies, we'll definitely reach out to you. Any accessorials, whatever your accessorial policies are, we want to make sure that we know what they are, Mr. Shipper, so we can pass it along to the carrier so they understand. So these little things that that you would have to understand. But since you already have the experience with the reefer, you can leverage that now. With the temperature control units and whether it's continuous and whatever the degrees are, and things like that. So, okay, so you have a niche. That's cool then.
Yeah. So the three that I'm most comfortable with right now, which is what I was trying to stick with, is reefer, dry van, and containers. Those are the trucks that I've driven. I drive now for FedEx, so I drive triples and doubles, but I don't really want to do that anymore.
Okay, so you you drive a triple? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, because the when the front one gets to wiggling, and then it has, next trailer amplification, it just affects it so bad, especially on windy days.
I know. It's so windy here right now too. That's why I have not gotten in the truck for days.
Yeah.
It's
so
like,
you having it. So with the container, then you would deal with the ports, the TWIC card, mapping gates, UIIA certifications, and all this other stuff. So you understand all that stuff too.
Yeah. And I'm very familiar with all of that.
Okay, so you can leverage that knowledge going. And the containers, let's see, what would you have to deal with? Okay, you got to go through the Port Authority. You got to deal with. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So reefers, dry vans. Yeah, because with reefers, you can you get double your chances of making money because you can just turn the reefer unit off and use it as a
right.
driver. I guess depending on the flooring in the trailer, but you can turn it off and use it as
as long as it's on a pallet, I think you can double it either way.
Right, because the units, the trailer's cool. Some of them cool from the bottom, some of them cool from the top, some of them cool. There's different styles, I think you would say. So, okay. So yeah, so now that you have your knits, now you can just go to the shippers in the states or in the zones, which make up a number. So a zone is a number of states, like the Southeast zone, the Northeast zone, Midwest zone. Mm-hmm. So you can target the zones that has a high volume of inbound and outbound reefer type freight or refrigerated freight, like produce, meats, chickens, beverages, things like that. And you can just say, okay, let's look up manufacturers. Now you have to get familiar with the supply chain concept, raw materials, manufacturers, distributors, wholesalers, retailers, and the end user. So, and then in each of those categories, there's a shipper and receiver in it. Like, so you have raw material shippers, right? You have raw material receivers. You have raw material manufacturers. You have raw material receivers. So, or you can go between the two, like a raw material, a manufacturer to a distributor, to a DC. You'll be able to say, okay, well, who handles your inbound freight? Well, I know you guys do the outbound freight because you are a manufacturer. You make the stuff, so you got to ship it somewhere. But who brings in your raw materials for you to make the stuff? So who handles your inbound? Right. So not just outbound, but inbound. So now you want to say, so you get another lead and go to their supplier and then try to get you say, hey, hey, Mr. Supplier, you handle the inbound freight to this distributor. I want to be your carrier to do that. I'm already handling their outbound freight, so I just want to make it a nice uniform relationship. You see, so stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's just so much information. It's crazy.
Yeah. So
I had no idea when I got started doing this.
Right, but you picking up on a lot. Because so with most brokers, they only ask about inbound, they only ask about outbound freight. They only ask about freight from shippers that the shipper has to ship out because they're shippers, right? But they don't ask about the materials that the shippers get in order to produce the products that they need to ship out. They don't ask about, well, where did that stuff come from? So you limit yourself by 50% by not asking about that stuff.
Totally.
Right? Yeah, so it's like, okay, and that could be a lead. So even if you forget to ask them at the beginning of the relationship, over time, as you're successfully moving loads for that shipper outbound, you can say, hey, by the way, I've been wondering, man, I've been moving these loads out for you guys, but who brings your stuff in? I want to try to get a hold of your inbound supplier and then see if I can bring my trucks to them and unify this relationship both ways, and they'll say, oh yeah, they come in from them. Yeah, we're not happy. They're always late. They all stuff is damaged, always short. Yeah. So who's the contact person? Let me call that person. And they can put a word in for you too, because they don't like the service anyway. So they'll, so it's stuff like that, and that don't, I mean, it don't have to happen over time, but I mean, it can happen immediately. But at some point you would want to increase your revenue stream by over 50% to 100% by asking about not only outbound but inbound freight, right? Inbound,
right? Or
well, not freight, but lanes. I guess you would say the lanes. The lane, your inbound lanes is coming into that's bringing you the materials for you to manufacture in order to move in your outbound lanes. So stuff like that. Supply chain logistics, and we're only the transportation portion of the supply chain logistics whole thing. There's so many other things involved in supply chain. Transportation is just a microcosm. So,
right, which is so crazy to even think about. Every day I'm like, oh my God, I'm just learning so much every day, and it's like every day there's something new to learn about.
So what's going to help you is, let's say you get up to about 10 agents. So that'll take the burden off you as far as, calling. You can have them call. So, but at some point, once you bring those agents on, you would have to either have a broker shipper agreement prepared. And I need to talk about that to you as well. A broker shipper agreement prepared, because the only thing that the agent should do starting out, their role should only be make the calls and try to get the shipper to agree to have either you quote a lane, and then they get off the phone and then get with you, and then we can quote lanes based off of our experience, or have the agent tell the shipper, yeah, send me your packet, and then they get off the phone and then get with you, the broker or whoever you trust, to start sending out those broker shipper agreements. The role of the agent shouldn't be that strenuous starting out. As they get more experience, then you can give them a little bit more trust and say, okay, I'll give you the ability not only to make the calls, but if you with all the training that we've given you, we're confident in you enough that you can actually send out the broker shipper agreement, and then but put our email down as a return, our company email down as a return email. And then later on, you can even trust them with proper training to quote lanes. If a shipper says, yeah, okay, well, I need you to quote a lane, or if the agent is versed enough where they can say, yeah, we can quote a lane for you, see what type of service we can provide for you. And then the shipper say, okay, yeah, I can do that. Then the agent will start asking them. Once the agent hears the shipper say, yeah, after they ask that question, inquire about lanes, and the shipper says, yeah, you can quote a lane, and then the agents just have a piece of paper in front of them with notes, asking the necessary questions to get as much data about the lane. How many pickups is it? Where is it picking up from? Where is it delivering to? What's the commodity? What are the accessorials? Certain things that you need. So when you get off the phone and say, well, we'll call you, we'll have that lane information, either email or phone call within the next 20 minutes. Some agents have been versed enough where they can just quote a lane right on the phone when the shipper says it, but that's not going to happen in the beginning. So it never did. So it didn't even happen with me. So, but at some point, an agent will have some load board up with spot market rates while they're talking to the shipper, and they say quote a lane. They say, where's it picking up from? They're typing as they're talking, picking up here. Where's it going to? It's going there. Okay, we see the loaded miles. We see what the spot market rate is saying. This is what our number is going to be. This is our margin. And then they'll quote them. They'll give them a quote right then and there. And then they'll start asking for, how many picks, how many drops, what are the accessorials, what are the extra things, special instructions, things like that. So, but beginning, the agent should just be focusing on mastering the sales call, right? Just the sales call. So now going back to your broker shipper agreement, you have the bare minimums in your broker. I got a broker shipper agreement right here, it's PDF. You have your bare minimum, right? The actual agreement, the verbiage. This is just a sample. You can actually take some stuff from this and copy it. If you can see my screen.
Yeah, I can see it. I'm sorry for being so quiet. I'm just looking at it like, no, I don't have that. Nope. I don't have anything that looks like that. So I'm gonna have to make that tonight.
Yeah, just read through it to see what agrees with you and what doesn't agree. And then that's just the broker shipper agreement, some of the verbiage. And then what else is included in the broker shipper packet? Let me go here to the packets, because when you send a shipper your packet, you're going to send the agreement, which is right there, and then you're going to send your credentials, your MC authority for your brokerage, a copy of either your surety bond, which is the BMC 84, or your trust fund, which is the BMC 85. So whichever bond type that you got, more than likely it's the 84, right?
Yeah, it's the 84.
And then a copy of your W-9 of your brokerage, copy of your contingent cargo insurance, and then a credit application for your factoring company. Because I'm assuming you have a factoring company.
Yes, I do.
Okay. So then they run the credit just to make sure that the shipper is factorable, because even some shippers are not factorable because their DTP, days to pay, is too freaking long. Why would I wait 60 days or 90 days to get paid from a shipper? Shippers don't care. They're like, you do the job and we'll pay you in 60 days. No, it doesn't work like that. So that's the reason, one of the other reasons why we get factoring companies too, to assist with that nonsense. So, so in addition to the agreement, this is what's included in your packet when you send it out to the shipper. And then of course you got a carrier packet that you send, a broker carrier agreement for your drivers when you get them and you onboard them. It's the same. It's a agreement between you and this is just a short version, the front page and the last page. There's stuff in between, obviously. The carrier profile, the carrier's authority, you need a copy of the carrier because you're bringing them on board to you. So you need to have all this stuff in your system so you can onboard them, run them through your compliance system, whatever system you're using, and to make sure that they are approved by whatever credentials that you qualify them for, right? So, so the carrier agreement, their profile, their authority, their insurance, their certificate of insurance, more than likely listing you as a certificate holder, their W-9, and then their notice of assignment, which is from their factoring company running a credit check on you, the broker, to make sure that you are factorable. So that's the packet. But see, this, you don't even worry about this. If they would send that to you. So all this, they're going to send all this to you. The only thing that you're going to have in your broker carrier side is the agreement. You send that to them, and they're going to return that to you filled out along with these other things that you asked for, right? Well, I'll take that back. The broker carrier agreement and the carrier profile you send to the carrier, and then they send they fill that out, send it back along with copies of their credentials, their MC authority, W-9, certificate of insurance, and if they have a factoring company, the notice of assignment. Okay, so there's two. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just taking a deep breath in, but I'm listening.
But it's good information to know, right? I mean,
oh yeah,
like
definitely.
Yeah, this stuff is necessary especially so because like it's like a lot of people get brokerages and it's like, okay, I got my authority, I got my insurance, I haven't built my credit up yet, but I can get like business credit cards, like to little small Home Depot, buy stuff that's business related, pay it off, build my credit up, right? So, but then it's like, okay, I get all that stuff, I'm active. Okay, now what's next? Like, and they're like stuck. Like, okay, what do I do next? Right.
Right.
That's why in my training, I people who are adamant they got their authority, that's cool, I'll train you. But the other ones who don't have their authority yet, I'll recommend you might want to work for a brokerage, under a brokerage first as an agent to get some experience to see the process of how freight moves through brokerages, how does it move, and then you get that experience. So when you do form your brokerage, you don't feel as, I guess, lost, so.
Right, because that's exactly how I feel right now. It's like completely in the dark. Like
you're part of the system. You're part of a training, though. You got me, you got Mr. J. We got so much experience.
Yeah.
Trust me, you're not going to be. Just use your resources. Use this back office. The information. I'm going to change stuff around a little bit, but the information is there in the order of how it should be. But
right.
Everything is here, even the tools and resources. So you probably haven't had time to look through everything, but even the tools and resources. I got shippers list from 2020, last year, a shippers list. So one of my friends gave it to me. I just threw it on here for my students back here. I said, go ahead. I'm gonna lighten this page. I need to lighten this image, the background, but because it looks like it's a cemetery or something. But don't it look like something out of a scary movie?
It does look like a scary movie for sure. There's like a dragon or something.
Children of the Corn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lighten that up, but
So no, this is I'm totally gonna change the way I've been doing things because this is I need to like really sit down with this all this information and really start to learn it. And I was trying to go about it a different way, but now I see that I was going about it like the dumbest way possible. I was wasting time, which I just hate doing. So I need to streamline this a little bit better.
Yeah. Just go after it. Just go at it in the fashion. So okay, so you are prerequisites to freight brokering. I think you already have that. You have a business plan. You have your license. All that stuff already up. Mm-hmm. You may not have a business plan, but there's in here we have a format for that. What's make sure I can spell requisites. Mm-hmm. Look at that, prerequisite, singular. And then so you already did the OP1 form and the MCS 150. You already did that. OP1 is for the MC, and MCS is for the DOT. You already know about the business plan, the parts of it, executive summary, company description, product services, market. So you can do this at a later date, form your own. Even you can form a business plan 10 years after you have a business, right? So this is just data. This is just data there. The types of business, the legal formation, sole proprietor, partnership, LLC. That's just data to read. Open a bank account, protect your intangible assets, taxes, legal services, right? That's just that, prerequisites. And then the broker requirements, you already meet that because you have your brokerage already active. So here's the flow chart of opening the brokerage. The flow chart, you follow the flow chart around and everything. You've already been through the process. Freight broker starter kit, broker costs breakdown. So it's a lot of information, but it's there. It's mainly there for like reference and research purposes, right? And this stuff here, I mean, I went through, every link you click goes to the actual CFR, the information, the legal information. Right. So I made it such a way that, you can get to it quickly and reference things like what is a broker regulated by USDOT as defined by boom. And then the broker, motor carrier, transportation. So you'll be able to understand who the logistics provider, who's the carrier, who's the broker, who's the dispatcher, right?
Right.
The arrangement, interstate. If you arrange the interstate transportation by a motor carrier or a commodity for a shipper, then you are a broker. That's your definition, right? Because you take possession of the property and then you broker it out to carriers to have that property moved for the customer or shipper from the shipper's facility to the receiver's facility, who is their customer. So,
can I ask a question? It's a little bit off topic, but I just want to ask before I forget. When does it change into the? I think it's what, $39 or $29 a month. Because I don't lose you. You know what I'm saying? I'll stick with you.
On the broker side, I think I eliminated that. I don't have the 29. Yeah, I don't think I have the 29 a month.
Okay.
It was just a one-time enrollment up to a year. I think I took that out for the broker side.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that I make my payments because Lord knows I'm not trying to miss out.
It's a lot of information, and we got research. And once I bring Mr. Milborn in here, he was a broker he retired a broker for over 30 years. So he lives close to me. That's the one who's going to give me, all the sales. He's going to put all the sales knowledge. I mean, he's a multi-millionaire. He just sits home and just twiddles his thumb now. But he said, I got all this knowledge. I might as well get it to you. I said, hey, all right. Great. So
that's a gift.
Yes, and I'm fortunate enough. I was the one that was blessed to receive it. So the application. So this would probably be for the beginner on Tuesdays for the beginners. The application process to obtain authority. You go to the fmcsa.dot.gov website, go through the whole OP1 form for the MC and then the MCS for the DOT, and go from there. So. But do you
think it would be in my best interest to take the dispatch class as well, though?
To get familiar with it, I would say yes. Because you are a broker, you can actually sit in on the dispatching class and from a broker's perspective and hear what dispatchers have to say, because dispatchers do brokers a favor. Because I train my dispatchers to vet the carriers out before they even set them up with a dispatcher agreement. So when we call brokers, that part brokers are still going to do it, but when they do check their MC and everything, they'll know that everything's on the up and up because we've already vetted them out. We've already looked at their CSA scores, checked them out on Safer, all that stuff before we even bring them on to our dispatching companies. Because we don't want to set our business because it's your business. So you don't want to set your business up for failure by bringing on carriers that their safety scores are low, or they're like conditional or unsatisfactory. They have issues with driving, things like that. And I show dispatchers if you got carriers who have these qualifications, then it's a good idea not to consider using them, right? So from a broker,
I think I'm gonna sign up for that too.
So if a broker sees that, the broker be like, wow, well, shit, you're doing my job, so thank you. And then
right, it just makes everything more streamlined.
So, and then right here, so keeping records as a broker, you know, each record of a transaction, every transaction as a broker has to be kept for at least 3 years. I don't know if you knew that, but
Well, I do now.
yeah. So this is all in here, and it's regulations behind it. Understanding of and avoiding misrepresentation, compliance with regulations. It speaks about as long as this information is properly recorded, you have flexibility how to organize it to maximize your productivity. You must keep these records for 3 years. What it means is the load tenders and loads, the name and address of the consigner or the shipper, the name and the address, DOT of the originator, the motor carrier that's moving that load for that shipper, the bill of lading number, basically everything on the rate con, you just keep you just keep in a filing cabinet for 3 years. Basically, that's all it means.
Yeah.
This is just describing what that stuff is.
And they want you to keep it like if you get audited so you can prove it. Is that why?
That's one of the reasons. Yes. Yep. That is correct.
Gotcha.
And I don't know if broker trainers tell their students this or not, but I got every before I created this course, I got every possible regulation there was about brokering and put it in the site. So let's see, the BOC3 is the dealing with process agents, and BOC stands for blanket of coverage or blanket of companies. There's so many of them across the country. So if you're like in Tennessee and you got a carrier who had an accident in Ohio, the process agent in Ohio will send the documents to you in Tennessee because that was your carrier under your brokerage, and they'll send that paperwork to you as far as claims and lawsuits and all this other stuff. So that's how that works. So, but I don't know.
There's so much reading to be done.
Yeah, but just do it in your spare time or when you have a chance. But this page here, the requirements, there's a lot of information, basic requirements to become a freight broker, the steps. Of course, the first one is the DOT MC. There's different types of authorities. You got the MC, which is the motor carrier, FX, freight forwarder, MX, Mexico. I'm MC for Mexico. And then the different costs, getting your surety bond or BMC 84 trust fund. And then the requirements of a surety bond. You got to be a U.S. citizen, no bankruptcies in process, no judgments, liens for more than $1,500. I don't know if you knew this or not. No past due child supports and no open or prior surety claims. So before you get your surety bond, you have to meet the requirements of that. And I'm sure I don't know if you went through like JW Surety or Lance or whoever you went to get your surety bond, but.
I went through PFA.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know if trainers are explaining to so for students who are enrolling into the Freight Broker 101 who don't have a brokerage yet and they're considering filing and applying for it, and I will go through this requirements section very thoroughly so they can understand this is what you got.
Like everything that you have on here was not spoken about with the other course that I took.
Wow.
Like none of this.
I could just teach on this requirements alone. But,
Yeah. Like, I mean, like I feel lucky that I was able to get everything done on my own after that course, but there's definitely a whole bunch in here that she never spoke about. I'm just really trying to figure out what the hell, like, she's just collecting money. That's what's got to be done. Or that class just isn't for somebody that's new and she just didn't tell me, because her class was $2,500.
So
I didn't get any information.
I could have charged $2,500 just for this one section, but I'm charging $599 for the whole course for a year, for up to a year. So yeah, I'm giving you stuff for like your home office, things that you may need, your hardware and software requirements that you may need for your home office, the suggestions for computers, monitors, printers, software, TMS system, load boards, and the costs per month, so you can kind of itemize your expenses, for your, communications, website, high-speed internet, phone, optional stuff, credit builder, TransCredit, $250. This is how you establish credit for your broker in order to get good paying shippers, because you need to build credit in order to get the better paying shippers. factory companies, 5% per invoice, up to 5%, and it's recourse factory. Freight broker training, $100 to $5,000. I'm more of the lower end, $599. Shipperly, you can purchase shipper lists, but sometimes they're outdated, up to $500. But I got a 2020 shippers list in
Right.
here. It's a spreadsheet. It's raw data. It's not in order, but it's raw data, but it's still good. So I just didn't have the time to go into the spreadsheet and change, the sales and put everything in order, but it's still raw data. So it's effective. So
Yeah.
I could just go through this whole,
I mean, yeah, you're like, I'm just so happy I found you and reached out and signed up, because I would have still been over here twiddling my thumbs like none of this stuff we talked about in her class. I'm trying to figure out what the class was about. Other than listen to her talk about nothing really.
Yeah, it's I'm sorry you had to go through that, but the information is right here.
Yeah, and honestly, it kind of just showed me what I don't want to be, how I don't want to have, the way that she acted. It didn't rub me like the greatest way. So I mean, obviously she's featured on FreightWaves all the time, so she has some type of reputation behind her.
So I forget her name. Is this the trucking guru?
No, it's not the guru. This lady's name is Hope White.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
And I've heard not so great things about the guru lady, so I just tried to stay away from her altogether.
Yeah, I've heard a mixture of the two. So here's the freight agent section where it talks about the difference between the broker and the agents and the responsibility. So the broker has the responsibility. They're the intermediary between the shipper and the carriers, and they handle all the financial aspects of their brokerage. The agent does not. So when the agent gets shippers and has to process those invoices, that responsibility is passed on to the broker. The agent is pretty much just doing the calls, things like that.
Right.
So, but this is the responsibilities. So I give examples. So say a shipper has a target rate on a load of $5,000. This amount is the most that the shipper is willing to pay. The broker wins the bid for the load. The freight broker takes their markup off the top of the load, so 15%, which is $750, and then resells the load to the carrier for $4,250, which is $5,000 minus $750. This is one way of how the process works. That's pretty much the way. So, no, I take that back. There's another way where the shipper asks you to quote a lane, and then you compare that lane. Once you get that data from the shipper, you put that into a spot market rate load board, and you get the spot market rate, and then you add your margin into that, and then you give that number to the shipper. And I can show an example of that too. So, and then the agent's role, responsibilities, duties. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say, but
No, I got this. I've got plenty to keep me busy until Friday.
Yeah, see, and you got access to everything. So, I may go up a little bit on the price next year, but it'll never reach $1,000. The single member will stay definitely under $1,000. It may go up to $799, and then the two.
How much is the dispatcher class?
The dispatcher is. I'm having a Black History Month sale because it was $399. I took $50 off for all of February, so it's $349 for the single member, and then $549 was $599, but $549 for the 2-for-1. So you see $50 off, special all over the place. So,
right. No, I'm gonna sign up for that. If not tonight, tomorrow. Your classes for the dispatcher is Wednesday and Thursday.
Wednesday and Sunday.
Wednesday and Sunday.
And then the broker side is Tuesday nights and Friday nights at 6 p.m. And then the dispatcher is Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. and Sunday mornings at 11 a.m.
Oh, okay. Because I don't know when the last time Muhammad has joined on the class, because we talk almost.
I lost you there for a second. Hello? I can't hear you. I think I lost it for a second. But at any rate, that's the dispatcher. And back to the freight brokering.
Hello?
I'd lost you for a second.
I have no idea how. I just clicked on and it logged me out, so I had to log back in. But what I was saying is I'm either going to sign up for it tonight or tomorrow morning, but it'll just be me because it's hard enough for me to like keep track of Muhammad and get him to get on like, every week. So
Yeah, so
I don't know.
I mean, was he interested in brokering? Because he doesn't seem like he's more involved as you are. But
Well, it's my company. He says he's interested, but his company is going through some legal stuff right now, and it has him like super distracted most of the time. So I don't, you know what I mean? Like, if he gets more active, that would be awesome because I would really love for him to help me. He's really good as a businessman and especially in sales, but if he doesn't, then I'm still devoted. You know what I mean?
okay,
I don't know. I actually like need to get back in touch with him and talk to him again today. So I'll just try to have a real conversation with him about like, is he going to take this more seriously or not?
okay, yeah, that'll work. That'll work. Yeah, just take your time with that. But yeah, that's the dispatching side. It's we give 3 free ebooks, forms and documents, tools and resources, training videos, library, access to load boards, about 5 or 6 load boards, back office access to everything,
Right.
business setup. It's a lot of content, just as much content as on the freight broker side. So
I see.
yeah.
But that's good though. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well,
All right. We did about an hour and 20 minutes. That's not bad. Okay.
yeah, no, it was way more than what I thought was going to happen. So I'm happy.
Yep. All right.
All right.
Amy.
You have a great evening and I'll talk to you on Friday.
All right. You too.
All right. Bye.